Hey sis, what is your deal, huh? Seriously, what is the big idea here? Why in the world are you here for me introducing my fiance's family to our family? What game are you trying to play here, huh? Carmen, what on earth are you talking about? You just said you brought over Tony's family to meet our family. You realize that includes me too, right? Besides, if anything, I should be the one asking you what you were trying to pull. I had to hear about this happening from Mom. I almost wasn't able to make it here to meet Tony's parents. Duh, that was kind of the whole point of not telling you to begin with. But I don't get it. I mean, I was so shocked when Mom called me over on the phone to ask me what time I'd be coming over. I told her that I had no idea what she was talking about, and she had to explain to me everything that was going on. I didn't even know what restaurant we were all going to be meeting at. I still can't believe that Mom just had to go out and run her mouth to you. She had no right to tell you that was going on. I was doing so well at making sure you didn't know this was going to be happening, too. But I still don't understand why you wouldn't want me there to meet the family that you're about to marry into. I mean, the rest of the family is all there with you, right? I didn't want you there because I didn't want to suffer the humiliation of having to introduce you as my sister. Surely you could have guessed that much. Oh, wait, what? What is that supposed to mean? You don't really mean that, do you? Of course I do. Just think about it. I went to an Ivy League school and graduated with honors. Tony also went to an amazing school and works for a huge company now. You really think I was ever going to let you go anywhere near my elite fiancé? You didn't even graduate high school. You had to go back to get your GED, and now you just run your sad little shop. Are you kidding me? Did you really think that that's all I've done with my life? Oh, please. I know you try to hide from everyone how sad and pathetic your life really is, but it's high time someone breaks you out of the fantasy world you're living in. That's why you need to learn your place and know that I'm not going to let you near my man. Are you telling me that you're really too embarrassed to have me meet your future in-laws and even your fiancé all because I didn't go to college? You know the whole reason I had to drop out of high school in the first place was because of the horrible car accident I was in. I had to go through months and months of PT and just didn't have the time or energy to put into going to school. But I worked hard after my recovery to be able to go back to school and finish my GED. Well, I'm glad that you're proud of all that, but to me, it's just a big blemish on our family's history. And the fact of the matter is that you still only have your GED. You're nothing. Do you understand that? How can you say that about your own sister? I really just don't get you. Well, it's the truth, so that's all there is to it. Besides, it's clear to me that you were just trying to flirt with my fiancé and steal him from me. You really don't think that that's what was happening, do you? We were just having a friendly conversation about what I do for a living. Tony seems to think it was interesting that I made my living growing and selling my own produce through my cafe. That's all we were talking about. I seriously don't even know why I bother with some poorly educated little nobody like you. You always ruin everything. And who cares about some idiot playing pretend in a cafe? You really think that that's going to last longer than a couple more years? Your business is going to fail and you're going to have nothing to show for your sad, pathetic life. I really wouldn't be so sure about that if I were you. I'll have you know I'm working hard every day to make my cafe succeed. I don't really care at all what you're doing. Just don't try and do anything for attention around my fiancé ever again. It's embarrassing enough just being your sister, but if you're going to try and interfere with my life, then I'm going to make you pay.
Kim, I just wanted to say how great it was getting to meet you today. I was really looking forward to meeting Carmen's family, and I'm glad that you were there. Thank you so much for being so welcoming into your family at home. My parents and I really appreciated it.
Of course, we were all excited to meet the man who was going to be marrying my sister. So I hope that we all have the opportunity to see more of each other in the future. But I guess the next time that's going to happen will be the wedding, so I'll see you then.
Wait. Sorry. There's actually something I wanted to ask you about, if that's alright. You said that your cafe was closed for the day, right? I was just wondering if we wouldn't be able to continue our conversation from earlier for a bit.
I'm sorry, what do you mean by that? I don't quite follow.
Well, you see, I went to an agricultural college, so I just really enjoy talking about farming, especially with other people in the industry. In fact, even my parents' house has a little mini garden where we experiment growing different kinds of crops or things.
Oh, really? Well, I guess that certainly explains why you were so interested in what I do for a living.
And since I live in the city now, I don't have nearly as much as I did back home to be able to grow things. So talking to you was the first time I'd gotten to talk about that kind of thing in a long time. Besides, I just think it's so amazing that you grow your own food and incorporate that into your cafe business. To be honest with you, it's always been a dream of mine to do something like that. So anyways, I just wanted to say once again that I'm happy to have gotten to meet you today. And if it's okay, I'd love to see your garden and cafe one day.
Well, by all means, feel free to stop by while I'm open and I'll arrange a tour for you. In fact, I have a spare corner in my garden that's not really being used. You could grow something there if you wanted.
Wait, really? Do you mean that? That would be amazing. I hope I'm not being forward in saying that I would love for a chance to do that.
Well, as long as you take care of that bit of land and don't make it something I have to look after, it's all yours.
I don't even know what to say. It's been so long since I last got to garden. This is really amazing. I have to say, I'm really quite surprised by you. Carmen told me you two don't get along so well. So this whole time I was expecting you to be some kind of cruel, cold ice queen. But you're just a warm, kind-hearted person with a green thumb.
I really think you're being too kind with that description, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
Wait a second, I got it. What if we hired you to cater a wedding? We would love to have some of your cooking there for everyone.
You want my cafe to cater your wedding with my sister?
Of course. We've already started the plans for the wedding and everything like that, so I know I'm not giving you a lot of time. But even just a simple menu would be amazing. I just think that would be a really special way to feed everyone on the big day.
Wow, Tony, I don't know what to say except that I'm honored that you would ask this of me. But what makes you so sure that my cafe's food is even good enough for all of your guests?
Well, it's just that my parents are going to be there at the wedding, of course, and as you might have noticed, they are getting quite old. Both of them actually have trouble even chewing meat now, so knowing that you have a whole vegetable garden and a menu full of good options in your cafe, I'm sure you're the right choice.
I see. Well, okay then, if you're really sure about this.
Not only that, but I always find wedding food to be so heavy, and I think having more veggies will make everyone feel better and prevent anyone from getting too sleepy. Besides, I have a couple modeling friends who I'm inviting, and they have been bugging me a lot about the menu. So this is also a way to address some of their worries.
I see. Well, I suppose people are wanting to eat more vegetables for all kinds of reasons these days. But anyways, if you're sure you'd like to hire my cafe, we'd be honored to cater your wedding.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so happy that we got to meet each other. This is going to be perfect.
And I'll spend some time thinking of a menu worthy of a wedding. Thank you so much for giving me something to do in my sister's wedding.
No. We're the ones who should be thanking you for being an option.
Of course, but I think it might be best if we keep my involvement a secret from Carmen. I just don't think this would go well if she found out beforehand.
Wait, what? You mean you don't mean to tell my sister that you're catering our wedding?
Well, it's like you said, Carmen and I don't really get along all that well, right? So I think that's why she shouldn't know my role in this. Just tell her you found some standard catering company and leave it at that.
Well, I suppose you would know how your sister would react better than I would. And who knows? Maybe the surprise might help push you two closer.
Yeah, I guess we'll see about that. But anyway, I'll help you out just as long as we keep it a secret from my sister.
Well, okay then. If those are your conditions, then I'll keep my mouth shut. If you just wouldn't mind sending over your menu ideas and rough budgets for them all, that would be great. I can't wait to see the finished product.
Hey, Carmen, what is your deal? Let me back inside, now! Why did you kick me out of your own wedding? What is the matter with you? I was only kicking you out for your own good, you know. Don't you realize that a lowlife like you doesn't belong among all of these successful people? But you were the one that sent me the invitation to be here in the first place. The only reason I sent you an invitation was because I didn't want to hear any crap about not doing so from Mom and Dad. But you should have known that I didn't really want you here. Besides, how can you even afford to take a day off work to come here? I thought you could never take a day off from your cafe. You better run back to your shop and make sure you're not already bankrupt. I'd hate for you to get back just in time for there to be nothing left standing because the bank took their land back. I'll have you know that my cafe is not nearly as small of an operation as you think it is. And I would be more than fine to close the business for a day now and then. So can you please just let me back inside? Oh man, it really is just sad how hard you're trying to prove yourself right now. There's no way I'm ever going to believe that your business is anything but some rinky-dink little business that's on the verge of collapse. You really need to get a grip and realize you're nothing compared to some of the people here at my wedding. Of any, just look at the time. What in the world are we even talking about right now, Carmen? I mean, what are you even doing here this early? The guests for the wedding aren't supposed to show up for another 3 hours or so. Don't tell me that you're actually so stupid that you don't even know how to tell the time. I came here at this time because I have things to get ready, if you must know. And just what is it that you have to get ready, huh? Did you need to try and practice fitting in with all the amazing people who are going to be here? Well, don't bother because I don't want you here anyways, so just go back home and never come back. You really have no idea what you're talking about right now, do you? I know that I've kicked you out and that's enough. There's no place for you here, so why don't you just turn around and let me get married in peace? Just go back to your stupid little cafe and keep it running so you can put it off the inevitable. I'm telling you that I can't just go back to my cafe today. I came here for your wedding and I'm going to see it through. Am I supposed to find that kind of language kind? Or comforting? I'm telling you that I don't want you here, so why don't you just beat it? You really mean it. You really want me to just turn around and leave. Let me break this down for you, but Tony and I went to amazing schools. Everyone who is coming to this wedding are also all of the upper crust of our society and top people in their field. There simply isn't room for a poor little nobody like you to just hang in here. So I don't care what excuses you have to stay longer, but you're simply not wanted. I don't get why you're always putting me down just because I didn't go to college. Aren't you proud of me as a sister for achieving all I have in spite of what I've been through? I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, if all you've done is open up some crappy little cafe, it would just be insulting to you if I'd pretended like I was impressed. Especially when your business just isn't going to last all that long anyways. Speaking of, you should really get back to work now, don't you think? Are you really sure you want me to leave then? How many times are you going to make me repeat myself? Yes, I want you to leave. Go! It really isn't that hard. Just go back to your crappy little cafe to make your crappy little food and serve it to your crappy customers. I see. Well, okay, I can do that, but your guests are going to have to be satisfied with just water then. What are you going on about? I mean that if you want me to go home, then I will, but just make sure to apologize to all your guests. Hey there, Tony. I'm really sorry about this, but I wasn't able to prepare any food for the wedding today. I've got some juice prepared, but you might have to cut them with water to make sure that they last the whole wedding.
Wait, what? Are you serious? What do you mean? What happened?
Well, I was just locked out of the venue and then ordered to go home by Carmen. She told me I didn't belong at the wedding because I'm poor and told me to go back to my cafe.
Are you kidding me? Did she really say that?
She really did. And to think that I was going to write all of this food off. I was going to take on this catering job as a wedding gift to you both, but she turned me away.
Well, hold on a second. I'll deal with this.
Kim, are you there? Why didn't you tell me you were catering my wedding? I didn't know that Tony hired you for that. Well, it's true, and it's why I was at the wedding venue so early. I'd been preparing for this all week, but then you told me to turn around and go home. Well, that's before I knew what was going on. You have to get back here right now. Everyone's about to arrive and there's nothing for anyone to eat. Sorry, but I've already returned to my cafe to do my job like you said. Well, I'm telling you something different now, so hurry up and get back, or else I'm gonna flood your shop with negative reviews. For doing what? Following your orders and turning around? You were the one who canceled my services at the last minute. But you don't understand. You need to get back here right now. Tony is saying that if you don't come back, he won't marry me. Wait, now he's saying that the wedding is off anyways. How did all of this happen so quickly? Why would you ruin my wedding like this? I didn't do anything to ruin your wedding. It's not my fault if your husband didn't know the kind of person you really were. But, I mean, I don't get it. Why would he be taking your side in this? He's not really going to just leave me just because I made fun of your lame job, is he? I think that if you don't know the answer to that question, then you really don't know your fiancé that well at all. I don't know what's going to happen next, but it sounds to me like you two have a lot of talking to do. Just leave me out of it. After that, I heard from Tony that he called the wedding off for the way that Carmen treated me in my job. After explaining the situation to his family, who were all sympathetic towards me and were actually looking forward to talking, they all understood and agreed with his decision. I also explained to my parents the kinds of things that Carmen had been saying about me and how Tony came to find out about all of that. Carmen begged Tony to get back with her, but he refused, after knowing how she felt about small business owners and agriculture workers. A group Tony was quite close with and connected with, he knew he could never be with her. After Tony canceled the wedding, I told him to bring his half of the wedding party to my cafe to enjoy all the food that was meant to serve at his wedding. I met many people who were interested in what I was doing, and my business really began to pick up through their word of mouth. Although my sister might not have gotten married, at least I made a great new friend and many important business connections.
Hey, when you get home today, don't go to your room. That's gonna be my mom and sister's room. What? You're gonna stay in the kitchen from now on. You have to cook anyway, so it's okay, isn't it? I'll get you a sleeping bag later. Hey, hold on a sec. I don't get it. What's up with you all of a sudden? My sister Ella got divorced. Divorced? That's right. She and my mom got kicked out of their house. That's horrible, isn't it? So I decided to take care of them. How long are they going to stay? What do you mean, how long? Well, they're not going to be staying with us forever, are they? It will be easier for them to plan if they make a definite deadline first. And it would save everybody from worrying about all sorts of stuff. What are you talking about? I'm saying my sister and mother are moving with us starting today. That's the deal. Living together? You should be happy about that. Absolutely not. It's already decided. You want poor Ella, who got divorced right after the baby was born, and mom to go out on the street? Well, I certainly don't want that. But living with us for the rest of their lives? That's not the answer, is it? You're surprisingly heartless, aren't you? I don't think that's the problem here. Anyway, I'm bringing Ella and her baby back here tonight. You'll take care of them. Huh? Especially since mom is 60 years old, I want you to cook her healthy food. Take her for a walk every morning and help her go places. You need to take complete care of her. No. Wait a minute. I have a job, okay? I'm just talking to you on my lunch break. I don't have time for this. You work from home. You can at least take care of mom in between things, can't you? I'm already working and doing all the housework. And now I have to take care of my mother-in-law? I mean, we talked about moving in with your mother when we got married. But she was just really mean and too difficult to get along with. Oh yeah, that's right. Because you were such a selfish woman, mom had no choice but to go to my sister's house. And the result is them getting kicked out of their house. In other words, my sister got divorced because of you.
Excuse me?
So you, as a way of apologizing, have to do as much as you can to take care of my mother and sister. And of course, don't cut corners on the housework. Especially the cooking. Mom's a picky eater. You've been using your job as an excuse to cut corners and never cook any good food. Take this opportunity to learn to cook for my mother.
That means I have to take care of my mother-in-law, do the housework, and work. I won't have any time to rest at all.
You'll have to figure that on your own. It's because your lack of experience that you can't make time.
Don't you realize you're talking nonsense?
Anyway, I'm bringing Ella and the baby home, so get everything ready.
Hello, Dawn. Did you hear from my brother? Yes, I did. I heard from Andrew that you're planning to live in our house. You and your mother are moving in today, right?
No,
I think he may have said something about living together. But rest assured, I don't intend to be that much of a burden on you. Oh, is that right? But I heard that you got divorced and got kicked out of your house, so you have nowhere to go. I guess I need to explain my situation first, right? Where do I begin? My husband and I are divorced, and it's temporary. Huh? You know that we and my mother were living together, don't you, Dawn? Yes, I do. After your father passed away, your mother was left alone, and you were worried about her. I heard that's what you said. That's a lie. What? The truth is, neither my husband nor I had any intention of living with my mother. I heard that when you married my brother, that she was abusive to you. Yes. It's the same with my husband. Before we got married, my mother checked out my husband's income, his co-workers, his boss, the company, and so on. She insisted that I should stop being with such an unworthy man. But I overcame her objections and joined my husband, and we were very happy. But my mother came to our house and stayed there. Oh no. I told her to leave, but she wouldn't listen. My husband, who is also a kind man, started to say that he felt bad about kicking her out. So she moved in with us. Wow, that must have been hard. And that was the beginning of my hellish life. Every day, my mother calculated in detail when my husband came home, how much money he made, and how much overtime he worked. She yelled at him when he didn't make enough money and cursed him for not being able to leave her daughter with a more capable man. It's unpleasant just thinking about those days. Even my kind husband became exhausted and decided that it was all just too much. So I talked with my husband, and we decided to temporarily divorce to deceive my mother. We planned to move far away together and secretly remarry in a new place. So that's what it was. I was going to have my mother live alone from now on. But I didn't expect that my brother would help my mother and let her live with us. I'm sorry for getting you into this. Don't apologize. I didn't think my husband would insist on having my mother-in-law live with us either. Because I've refused to let her live with us before. He didn't listen to me at all, so it's not your fault. Thank you. But why does Andrew want you to live with us? It seems like your and Andrew's stories are basically different. About that, my brother seems to think that I'm a housewife who didn't make enough money and got divorced and lost her way. He's also mad at me for the divorce, saying that my husband kicked me and my mother out of the house. He wants to help me and my mother, so he says he'll let us live with him. But the truth is, you were a stay-at-home mom, right? You guys can't get married again right away. What are you going to do until then? My husband is giving me money to live on for the time being. So I was thinking of hiding out somewhere and living alone, but if my mother is going to live there, I can't just run away. Can I move in with you and take care of my mother? Of course I will pay for the living expenses. But we don't have enough rooms. We only have one vacant room. I've been kicked out of my room and told to sleep in the kitchen. The kitchen is outrageous. Dawn, go ahead and stay in your room.
I don't mind if my mother and I share a room. Your job is working from home, right? I'll keep an eye on my mother so she doesn't disturb you. And I'll do the housework. That would be very helpful. My husband won't listen to anything I have to say. But if you ask me, I can't say no. If a deadline is set, I'm not opposed to you living with us. Let's talk about who's going to do what to make it work. Thank you very much. It really helps. Thank you too. And there's one more thing I wanted to talk to you about. Huh? Would you like to talk again without my brother? Would it be better without him there? Yeah, there's something on my mind, but I think it's going to be kind of hard for you to hear. I think I can guess, but anyway, okay. It's almost time, so I'll go for now. Okay, have a safe trip. Excuse me, Dawn. Are you still at the supermarket? Yeah. I'm about to go check out. Sorry, but can I get you to get me one more thing? What? Mom suddenly said she wanted strawberries. Strawberries? Do you think they sell them this time of year? They might not be in the supermarket, but I called a fruit shop in the mall and asked, and they said they had them there. So I asked them to hold them for me. I'm sorry, but could you please go pick them up? Okay, sure. I'm sorry for my mother's selfishness. I wish I could go with you and help. No problem, I drove. Besides, if I don't buy them, your mother will make a fuss again. I'm so sorry. Don't worry, it's not your fault. Thank you for keeping an eye on my mother-in-law while I was gone. Thank you too. I really appreciate it. Looks like you're fulfilling your role as a wife nicely, huh? Andrew? I heard you bought strawberries for my mother. I'm glad to see you're taking good care of my sister and mother. And you, on the other hand? Ever since my sister-in-law and mother-in-law came to live with us, you've been coming home later and later. Recently, you've been coming home in the morning. Before you know it, you won't be coming home at all. It's not my fault things got so busy at work. Anyway, I have to do it to make up for the extra mouths to feed. Ella is putting in enough money, right? Huh? There's no way she has that kind of money now. If you're going to talk back, think a little better before you say it. Don't complain when you're the one who's being fed in the first place. I work. You gonna say I'm working too? Well, let me tell you that measly salary you're making working from home is nothing to brag about. So, what then? Nothing. Hey, I got the results. How was it? It's all bad. Oh, is that so? How about on your end? My husband is already waiting for me over there. I'm ready to go whenever you want. We should move on this as soon as possible. Well, I have some formalities to take care of, so can you wait until next week? Understood. All right, I'll get busy. Hey, Dawn, where did you go? You left me signed divorce papers. Do you know what you did? Mom is very upset and furious. I'm the one who's providing for you. You're the one who should be served with a divorce. Now stop this and get the hell back here. Okay, I understand. Then I guess we're divorced after all. What? I said, I see your point. Divorce is the only way. Are you serious? You think you can live without me? Yes, in fact, I can live without you. What? Don't tell me you just noticed the divorce papers. We left that house 3 days ago. That long ago? We? Of course, with your sister. What? She was a housewife right before the divorce. She's even poorer than you, working from home for pennies on the dollar. There's no way she can leave home and live on her own. What are you talking about? Your sister moved in with her husband. Huh? Again? What are you talking about? She was abandoned by the terrible guy.
It was you guys who abandoned her.
Huh? What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. That's not a reason for you to leave.
Well, it's true the situations aren't directly related. We just timed it together.
Huh? Timing?
I mean, I left a thick envelope next to the divorce papers. You haven't seen it yet?
The envelope was there, sure, but...
That should easily explain why I left and why I want a divorce.
What? What the hell? When did this happen? When did you take these pictures?
Can I assume that this is a reply to the contents of the envelope?
A report from a detective agency on an investigation. You requested it because you thought I was seeing another woman, didn't you? How long have you known? How long have you been aware of it?
About a month before your sister came to our house.
What?
I mean, your sister knew about your affair too.
Huh? Why?
Why? You really are clueless about what's going on around you, aren't you?
Clueless? What?
Did you forget that your sister and I are from the same university, though we were in different grades?
Well, come to think of it.
Your secret lover, Brenda, was a classmate of your sister, and we were in club activities together too.
Huh?
She was a notorious presence back then, and it was only a matter of time before we heard about it.
Really?
Besides, you suddenly moved your divorced sister and mother in to live with us, with the pretense of needing a place to live. That's why you made me take care of them.
Oh.
You were going to let your mother boss me around all day and make me take care of her. And by putting me through all of that, divert my attention away from you. That way you thought you could cheat all you wanted. Pretty stupid idea if you ask me.
No,
You rarely came home, so you didn't know about it. With the help of your sister, your mother's bullying was largely contained. Thanks to her, I had enough presence of mind to know about your affair and to request an investigation by a detective agency. Your mother also became quiet after she found out about your affair.
Oh no. Really? My mother knows about it too? Sis, are you even human? You can't tell Dawn and Mom about my affair.
Huh? What? I'm not so low as to take the side of someone who cheated, no matter how much she's a relative of mine, right?
What is that? You yourself got divorced by your husband, lost everything and went broke. Even though you went through such a hard time. Do you want your brother to go through that painful experience too?
What are you talking about? I'm remarrying my husband.
What?
Haven't you heard from Dawn? My husband and I are divorced, but it was only temporary. Mom forced us to live with her, and then she started bullying him so badly that we decided to get a divorce. Trick Mom, and then remarry in a faraway place.
Oh, come on. Seriously?
You didn't think the divorce was because I was cheating?
It wasn't?
Don't compare me to someone who's so stupid he got caught cheating.
Jeez.
Just so you know, I didn't tell anyone my current address as a defense measure against Mom and you. Not even Dawn knows where I live.
What? Why would you take precautions?
Because I'm cutting all ties with you.
Cutting ties?
It's too much trouble to explain it all in detail.
What's too much trouble?
My brother is a scumbag and an idiot. And my mother is a parasite and a bully. I'm going to say bye to such a toxic family for the rest of my life after this message.
Oh, come on, sis.
Good luck taking care of your monster mother. See you later. Both my mother-in-law and Andrew said I was cheated on because I was not a very attractive wife. Such excuses could not be accepted in court, and a divorce was granted. The alimony was paid in a lump sum from the estate of my deceased father-in-law. My mother-in-law's retirement fund was skimmed. My mother-in-law was getting impatient, cursed Andrew every day, and told him to work harder. Finally, she was kicked out of the house. I have since moved far away and continue to work from home. I make enough money to live on my own and have no problems. I received a postcard from the airport saying that my sister-in-law and her husband had decided to flee overseas for their own safety. I hope they are living happily after that.